If your city did not bid on the World Cup next year in 2026, you are sitting pretty. We'll tell you what that means and a lot more coming up right now. It's Offside Sports. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Offside Sports, live from the Loft 100 studios here in Southern California, presented by Turtlebox Audio. Waterproof, durable, and insanely loud. Be unafraid of what others think. Check out their incredible lineup of portable speakers at turtleboxaudio.com. Allison Ratzlaff, Dave Palet, how are we doing, kids?
Good.
Yeah?
How are you?
Well, I'm doing well. I'm feeling good because I did not bid on a host to be a host site for the 2026 World Cup. Okay, soccer fan?
So. World Cup I will follow, though. I'm not one of those that hate soccer, even though I prefer sports. There's more scoring and actually a clock that ticks in the right direction.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's a big world event. It's as big as anything. You can put it right up there with the Olympics.
Well, it's the world's game, Dave.
That's what I've been told.
It's not the United States.
Yeah, I disagree a little bit, but that's not the point. The point is, if it's a party, I want to be part of it.
Sure. Yeah. Allison?
Well, there's 11 cities that many cities across the United States pitched. 11 cities are hosting. 74 out of 100, or 78 out of 104 matches are going to be held here in the United States. And there's a real problem with that. FIFA does not cover the costs for security. It's each city's responsibility to cover the security costs for at every public venue, including airports, bridges, tunnels, all transit, private car travel. It all has to be covered by this city. MetLife has already spent $37 million. They still have another $65 million they have to come up with.
Okay, so we're here. We're headquartered in Southern California, and of course, you know, Sofi, relatively new stadium, is going to be one of the sites for one of the matches. I was about to call it a game, but soccer purists out there would say it's not a game, it's a match, man. I do like soccer. I like the riots, the hooligans. I like the drinking. I like it when armed security and policemen have to go into the stands with billy clubs and start. I love soccer. No, I'm very, very take it or leave it.
Yes.
It's not lost on me the skill. More importantly, the stamina it takes to play that friggin' game, especially when they monitor how far men and women run in a professional soccer game, which is miles. I get it. When it comes to the World Cup, Dave, I'm not quite, oh my God, it's a party, I'm going to miss out on it. It's almost like, oh, the World Cup is here. Ah, darn it. Okay, anyhow. So but if I sit down and watch a game, it is exciting when it's at that level. I will freely admit that.
Well, and it's crazy that the numbers show that it is the biggest sporting event. It only happens every 4 years, but it's the biggest sporting event. It draws the most amount of spectators. So it's going to be a problem if they can't come up with the money to provide the security that's necessary. And especially it seems like tourism is down. So if people aren't coming in to watch from other countries, it's going to be really on these cities are going to lose money. And they already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars even to do their pitch to be chosen. Now they're chosen. Now they're stuck with this huge bill.
Well, oh my God. That's where things change. I mean, we don't want to say anything's political, but this is political because when they bid on it, at the time, they didn't see the political landscape being what it is. They thought they were going to get a ton of tourists that were going to come to the United States and Mexico and Canada to say, I want to be part of this. I got to see it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. Well, right now you're looking at some of the cities that Mike has in front of him, and you're going, okay, well, Los Angeles will figure it out. New York will figure it out. Miami will figure it out. Well, what happens to Kansas City?
Yeah.
You know, and what happens to, Boston, New England area? It becomes, they're going to make cuts somewhere. They're going to take care of it. Last thing somebody wants is a disaster in their own city where all of a sudden it's on the news all across the world that something horrible happened in your city, because what you're doing is you're selling your city, right? You want people to say, hey, I remember watching the World Cup and going, you know what, at the same time, with the World Cup, I remember what it looked like in Boston from the outside shots. Let's take a trip there. Yeah. If a disaster happens, honestly, it's the worst thing to not only happen in the sport, but happen in the United States.
Okay, so it's New York, Dallas, Atlanta, LA, Seattle, Boston, Houston, KC, San Francisco, Miami, and Philly. And that's in the continental United States. Mexico, Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey. Been to Monterrey. Beautiful, beautiful city. Canada, you got Toronto and Vancouver. Yep. And you know, I don't want to go down the immigration, the political rabbit hole or not, but Dave, you raise a very, very big point. There's a lot of people elsewhere who are like, well, if I come to the United States, is something going to happen because I don't have strawberry blonde hair, pale skin, and freckles. I don't look like, maybe I look like somebody from another country. And so I think that's one of the issues that a lot of tourists are thinking about, international tourists that are coming here. And the problem is FIFA is now but FIFA's going to have to rely on American sports fans to foot the bill, i.e. buy the tickets and go, where I don't see that most of the money that cities are going to, or host cities are going to make from the World Cup are going to get it back from those fans.
No, it's one of those situations where nothing is worse for television than having empty seats, right? So you have to figure out a way, either camera angles, or you have to figure out a way to put people in those seats. It has to make it look like this is a world event, and no one does it better than the United States. Right. And if you drop the ball, it's not going to be great for the future, when obviously we've had it back in 1994. And you're bringing it back here, and you said it's a big world event. You want to make sure you're doing it right. In the United States, we always want to believe not only do it right, we do it better than anybody.
Sure. And then, and we, the three of us were talking before the show, and you talk about some of those stadiums here in the States that have to go from field turf to grass turf. Yep. And real grass. And then something that completely slipped my mind, the fact you mentioned that, football fields in the United States are crowned at the top. This has to be a flat pitch for them to play soccer on. So there's that much more money now that, unless it goes into, we knew that was going to happen, but I think these cities are realizing as the federal dollars do not come to them, these prices are like, oh God, how are we going to pay that? And I was doing the research on hospitality and tickets, and individual game tickets have not been released yet, but hospitality packages for a person, start at about $3,500 and go all the way up to $73,000. And I just don't know if there are that many big ticket fans in the United States who are citizens of the U.S. first are like, yeah, I'll foot that bill. Even it's coming around it's only 4 years.
Maybe if you live in that city, like if you live in Houston or Dallas or LA, maybe. And LA will draw regionally from, San Diego and north, the whole state probably. But you can't look at some of those other cities, like you were mentioning, Kansas City. That could be tough. And are there that many soccer lovers?
Well, I will say this. I think the game of professional soccer, maybe if not, at the premier level, the World Cup level, but the game is growing. It is. In the United States, as far as professional teams are concerned. Look what lacrosse has done in the grade school, high school, and college ranks. It used to be such a Midwest East Coast sport. It's grown out here on the West Coast. I don't ever see professional soccer supplanting any of the big four here in the United States, but also, Dave, to professional soccer getting to the point where the United States goes absolutely bonkers for World Cup every 4 years, even here or away.
Well, we all know it's bigger, right? Everywhere else in the world than the United States. Even the MLS, which has become bigger throughout the United States. When you talk to people in Europe about the MLS, they laugh at you. Totally. They go, that's not high quality soccer. That's not soccer at its best. Well, this is the best of the best. And whether you're a casual soccer fan or you're a person that only pays attention once every 4 years, I mean, Mike, even you can name 4 big-time stars in the sport, and those people will be involved, in the World Cup that are happening basically in your country. Now, you talk about dollars, and we talk money all the time. Los Angeles is going to be fine. SoFi Stadium, yeah, where the Rams and the Chargers play, they're going to end up putting a grass inside, basically an indoor stadium. They're going to do the same thing in Atlanta.
Yep.
But when you look at the Olympics that are coming to Los Angeles in a couple of years, that's where the swimming is going to go, inside SoFi Stadium. I mean, so talking about ripping out turf and putting grass in, I mean, they're putting a swimming pool in there. Yeah.
I got to put a pool in now?
They are putting a pool in. And, I mean, it sounds crazy. They're putting a pool there, but they're putting a pool there. So the cities are going to pay the price in Kansas City, as Allison just said. And the deal is, they're going to be cutbacks to other places. And whether that means closing parks or whatever else, it's what it's going to be, because they're going to come up with the money. If it's on TV, they're going to show up for it.
Well,
all right, less than a year away. We'll see how it goes. Are you a huge fan of the Vetter Cut rivalry? It's going crazy. We'll cover that next as Offside Sports continues after this.